evening, my dear students, secondary one. My name is محمد Chata, math teacher. I hope I could be helpful for this year, inshallah. Today, we will talk about solving a quadratic equation algebraically and graphically. Before we start our lesson, we will talk about the quadratic equation. The quadratic function at first, f of x, ax power 2 plus bx plus c is called quadratic equation. Why? Because the greatest power here of x is 2, so it is the second degree. Second degree equation is called quadratic. Do you understand? Focus on a is the coefficient of x power 2, p is the coefficient of x, c is the absolute term or y-intercept. Such that a, p, and c belong to the real number r, and a not equal to 0. This is the quadratic function. The quadratic function also is represented by a curve which is called parabola. It's called parabola. What is the meaning of parabola? Parabola like this or this. Opened upward, or downward. When the curve opened upward and the curve opened downward, according to the sign of the coefficient of x squared. When a is greater than 0, so the curve will be opened upward. But when the curve downward, when a is smaller than 0. Smaller than 0 means negative. But here is positive. Okay, do you understand? So the quadratic function is a function of second degree in the form f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. A, b, and c belong to r, and a not equal to 0. It's represented by a curve is called parabola. It's called what? Parabola. The curve parabola is opened upward when a greater than 0, when a is positive, downward when a smaller than 0, when a is negative. Okay? Now we will try to graph a quadratic function. Like this. Try to graph this function f of x equal x squared minus 2x minus 3. When x belongs to negative 2 closed and 4 closed. So the values of x here is negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, up to what? Up to 4. Now we will substitute each x by once by negative 2, once by negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So negative 2, when we substitute f of x when x equal negative 2, okay, it will be negative 2 squared minus 2 times negative 2 minus 3 equals 5. So f of x here equals 5. When we substitute by negative 1, it will be 0. If we substitute x by 0, it will be negative 3. If you substitute x by 1, it will be negative 4. When x equals 2, it will be -3. When x is 3, so it will be 0. And the last one, 4, so it will be 5. Now, we prepared the table to graph the function f of x equal x squared minus 2x minus 3. When x equal -2, so f of x, which y is 5. -2 and 5. Look at this. -2 and 5 here. -1 and 0. -1 and 0 here. 0 and -3 here. 1 and -4 here. 2 and -3. 3 and 0. 4 and 5. Now we will join the points after plotting it. Okay, so this is called the parabola. The parabola is opened upward. Why? Because the coefficient of x squared here is positive. This is 1. So it is positive, so the curve opened upward. Okay, this point is called the vertex of the curve. Okay, because the curve is opened upward, so here we have minimum value. We have minimum value. Okay, do you understand? Okay. So I want you to determine the intersection point with x-axis. To determine the point with x-axis, the intersection point with x-axis here, this point and this point. So the curve, I can say the curve intersect x-axis at the point -1 and 0, also at 3 and 0. Okay, so when x equal -1, the value of y equals 0. When the value of x equal 3, so the value of f of x or the value of y equals 0. So when I ask you to find the solution set of x squared minus what? Minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. 0 means y equals 0. To find the solution set of x squared minus 3x minus 2x minus 3 in the real number, so the solution set will be -1, which is this, and 3, which is this. The intersection point with x-axis like this. Look at this. The solution set will be -1 and 3. Do you understand? Okay. Today we will talk about how to find the solution set of the quadratic equation. Okay? So this is graphically. Graphically, there are 3 ways when I have this x-axis and this y-axis. There are 3 x-axis and this is y-axis. When the curve intersect x-axis at 2 points, A and B, so the solution set will be A and B. When the curve touch x-axis at 1 point, so the solution set will be here is A. Okay, the last one, when the curve doesn't intersect x-axis, so the solution set will be 5. because the curve doesn't intersect x-axis. Okay, do you understand? Now we will open المعاصر to solve some exercise about this part. We will open المعاصر exercise to solve this part, a lot of exercise about this part. Okay, pay attention with me. Look at question number here, number 13. Okay, in this question he asked me if the opposite figure represented the curve of the function f, then the solution set of the equation f of x equals 0 in R is. In this question he asked you about finding the solution set of the equation. So you will look for the intersection point with x-axis, but you will notice here, the curve doesn't intersect the x-axis, so the solution set will be 5. Okay. The next question, in the opposite figure, the solution set of the equation f of x equals 0 in R. We will look for the intersection point with x-axis. You will find it will be -2. Do you understand? Okay. Look at question number 15. The solution set of the equation f of x equals 0 in R is. You will look for also for the intersection point with x-axis here. It will be -1 and 3. -1 and 3. -1 and 3. Set or interval, I look for points, not interval. So it will be -1 and 3 in this form. Okay. This question, number 16, for excellent pupils who understand the previous part. The opposite figure represented the curve of the function f of x equal x, ax bar 2 plus bx plus c. Which of the following is true? Which of the following is true? Okay. The first one, a greater than 0 and c greater than 0. Letter B, a greater than 0, c smaller than 0. Letter C, a smaller than 0 and c greater than 0. Letter D, a smaller than 0 and c smaller than 0. I told you that if the curve here downward, so this means a is smaller than 0. Okay, c is the y-intercept. Y-intercept. The curve intersect, this is x-axis and this is y-axis. The curve intersect y-axis here. So this is positive part or negative part, positive part. So AC greater than 0. So the right answer is letter C. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. Let us return to the how to solve algebraically. Algebraically. Okay. When I want to find the solution set of x power 2 minus 2x minus 3 equals 0, algebraically means with the steps, not by graphing. So I have two ways. Now I have two ways. By factorization, the other one by using general rule. Okay. Okay. To factorize, to find the solution set of x power 2 minus 2x minus 3 equals 0 by using factorization, you will check that the answer is 0 at first or not. In the two ways, you must check the answer equals 0. After that, it is arranged descendingly according to the power of x. X power 2 minus 2x power 1 minus 3. So it's arranged descendingly according to the power of x. So by using factorization, you will open two brackets equal 0. Is there any common factor? No. So x power 2 is factorizing as x times x. X power 2 is factorizing as x times x. 3, I want to factorize 3 as the product of two numbers, their difference equal to 3 times 1. The last term is negative. So the greatest number as the middle, the greatest number here is 3, so it will be negative. So 1 will be positive. If I have two factors, their product equals 0, so the first one may be equal 0. So x here will be 3, but or x plus 1 equals 0. So x here equal negative 1. So the solution set will be 3 and negative 1. Okay? Do you understand? By using general rule, before we start to use the general rule, you must determine the value of A, B, and C. The value of A, what's A? A is the coefficient of x power 2, which is 1 here. B is the coefficient of x, which is negative 2. C is the coefficient of the absolute value, which the absolute term, which is negative 3. After that, you will use this rule, which is x equals negative b plus or minus root p power 2 minus 4ac over 2a. Okay? You will substitute the value of a, b, and c. So x equals negative b means negative 2 equals 2 plus or minus root p power 2 negative 2 all power 2 equals 4 minus 4 times 1 times negative 3 a 1 c negative 3 over 2 times 1. So x equals 2 plus or minus square root 4 minus 4 times 1 times negative 3 equals 16 over 2. So x equals 2 plus or minus 16 equals 4 over 2. So I have now two solutions. X equal 2 plus. We use once plus and once minus. Here x 2 minus 4 over 2. So x here equals 3 and x here equals negative 1. So I can say the solution set equals 3 and negative 1 also as this way. Understand? Okay. I have now a special case. When I ask you to find the solution set in R of f of x equals x power 2 minus 4, this number 1, and here f of x equal x power 2 plus 4. When f of x equals 0, here also when f of x equals 0. Look at this, please. X power 2 minus 4 equals 0. How to find the solution set of this equation? I can use factorize here. X power 2 means x times x. Here is 4 is factorized as 2 times 2. Here is negative and here is positive. Because this is called difference between two squares. Here is x power 2 and here is 4, and this is difference between two squares. So x power 2 minus 2, x minus 2 equals 0. So x here equals 2. Or x plus 2 equals 0. So x here equals negative 2. So the solution set will be 2 and negative 2. I have another way to solve this equation by using the square root. So I will transfer negative 4 to the other side. So x power 2 equals 4. By taking the square root for both sides. So, but don't forget positive or negative when you're taking the square root. So here is x, square root x power 2 equals x. So this positive or negative, square root 4 equals 2. So the solution set will be 2 and negative 2 also by another way. Look at this. Here, f of x equal x power 2 plus 4. Okay, can you factorize this? Can you factorize this expression? I can't, because this is the sum of two perfect square. I can't factorize them. I can factorize only x power 2 minus 4. This is called difference between two squares. Okay. Also, by another way, x power 2, if you transfer 4 to the other side, it will be negative 4. So after taking the square root, it will be x power 2 equal positive or negative? Negative 4. Okay, I said I want the solution set in R. So here, can you find the square root of negative 4? No, I can't. So I can say the solution set will be 5. Now, I want to tell you about the names of this number. The names of this number which belong to the solution set. This number is called root. This is a root also, or solution. And this is called solution. What is the meaning of called a root or a solution? If you substitute each x here by 2, here by 2, so it will be 2 power 2 minus 4 equals 0. Also, if you substitute x equal negative 2, so it will be negative 2 power 2 minus 4 equals 0. So these numbers are called what? Are called roots or solution. So if you have a question like this, f x power 2 minus mx plus 6 equals 0, and one of its solution is 3, find the other one. Okay, to solve this question is very important question, because if you understand the meaning of the word the solution, you will solve this question by simple way. Okay, solution means if we substitute each x by 3, so the result equals 0. So 3 power 2 minus m times 3 plus 6 equals 0. So 3 power 2 equals 9 minus 3m plus 6 equals 0. 9 plus 6 equals 15 minus 3m equals 0. So transfer 15 to the other side, so it will be negative 3m equal negative 15. By dividing both sides by negative 3, so negative 3 goes negative 3, so m equal negative 15 divided by negative 3, so it will be 5. So the value of m here equals 5. Do you understand? Okay. Now we will solve some exercise about this part. Look at the first question. The solution set of the equation x power 2 minus 1 equals 0 in R is, this is the difference between two squares. So I can factorize it as x times x, 1 times 1. This is negative, this is positive. So this is x minus 1 may be equal 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. So I can say here, what is the value of x to make the result equal 0? So it will be 1, and here negative 1. But here is positive 1, and here is negative 1. Which C or D is the right answer? Who can say? It will be letter D. Why? Because he asked me to find the solution set. Not asked me to find the solution only. Solution set must be written between two braces. Do you understand? Okay. Look at question number 2. Number 2. How to find the solution set? If you can factorize this equation, this expression, you can use factorization. If you can't, you can use the general rule, okay? But this expression can be factorized easily by open two brackets equals 0. X power 2 is factorized as x times x. 9 is factorized at 3 times 3. The last sign is positive, so the two signs are the same like the negative, like the middle. So the first factor, x minus 3 equals 0. So x here equals 3, x here equals 3. So the solution set will be 3. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. Look at question number 4. X power 2 plus 3x equals 0 in R star. R star means all real number except 0. Here, how to solve this equation? By here, you can notice that there is a common factor, which is x. So when you take x as a common factor, you will divide each term by x, here by x and here by x. X power 2 divided by x will be x plus 3x divided by x equal 3. So the result equals 0. So this is x and this is x plus 3. X times x plus 3 equals 0. So x may be 0 and x plus 3 may be 0. So x here is negative 3. So now I have two values or two solutions for this equation, 0 and negative 3. But he told me to find the equation in the solution in R star. R star means any number except 0. So this solution is refused or rejected. So the solution will be negative 3 here instead of negative 3. Do you understand? Okay. Number 6. Necessary condition to make the equation ax power 2 plus bx plus c equals 0. Quadratic. What is the mean? What is the meaning of the word quadratic? Quadratic means of second degree. So the greatest power of x must be 2. So what is the necessary condition to make this equation is quadratic? Who can solve it? Okay. Who can? Okay. So ax power 2, this is the necessary part to make this equation is quadratic. So to keep this equation quadratic, a can't be equal 0. A can't be equal 0. Why? Why? Because if a equals 0, so you will, if a equals 0, so 0 times x power 2, it will be 0. So the equation will be of first degree. So a can't be equal 0. Okay? You understand? Okay. Look at question number 9. This very, very important question, and measure how you will understand this lesson. Okay? If the curve of the quadratic function f cuts the x-axis at the 2 points 2 and 0, -3 and 0, so the solution set will be this means y equals 0 here and the y equals 0. So the values of x here, which make the equation equal 0, are 2 and -3. So the right solution is letter C. Why letter D is wrong? Who can tell me? Because this is ordered pair. This is the value of or 2 and the negative letter D is wrong because 2 is the value of x and -3 is the value of y. But I have in the question that 2 and 0, 2 is x and the -3 is x also. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. Okay. Look at this question. Number 17. Number 17. If the volume of the cuboid is 40 centimeter cubic, so the value of x equals, what is the rule of the volume of the cuboid? The volume of the cuboid equals length times width times height. Okay, do you understand? So here is 2 times x plus 1 equals 40. This is the length, this is the width, this is the height. So I have 2 times x equal to x times x equal to x squared. 2x times 1 equals 2x. I will transfer 40 to the other side. It will be -40 equals 0. Please pay attention when this is 2, this is -2, this is -40. All of this is even number. So I will divide it, all of these terms by 2. So this is x power 2 plus x minus 20 equals 0. How to solve this equation? If you use factorization, so it will be x. Here is x power 2. It will be factorized as x times x. Here is 20 is factorized. I want to factorize 20 to two numbers. Their difference like this equals 1, which is 4 and 5. But the last term is negative. So the greatest number, like the middle here is positive. So the greatest number here is positive, is 5, and here is negative. So I have now two factors. Their product equals 0. X minus 4 equals 0. So the value of x may be 4. And the value of x here equals -5. So I have two values now. X equals 4 and x equals -5. Which of the two values is correct? Who can tell me? Or the two values are correct? Who can tell me the right answer? Because this is length and width and height, so the value of x must be positive. So negative is refused. So the value of x here equals 4. I hope you understand all the lesson. If there is any question, please keep in touch with me. Thank you.